So all this talk, we do certainly hear a lot about the escalating tensions with North Korea, but not so much on what it's like to actually live there.
Right, it's hard to find out, really. All right, Fox 5 Sharon Crowley, did speak to a young man about his experience as a child living there and why he decided to risk his life to leave.
As a child in North Korea especially, I never really had a true desire of freedom because I didn't really know what it was.
Joseph Kim, now 27, escaped North Korea 10 years ago by running across a frozen Tumen River. The river borders North Korea and China.
On the North Korea border side, there are soldiers who carry their weapons, and it's difficult to escape.
Starving and homeless, he made a daring run for it.
The scary part is that also the soldiers are hidden, so you don't know where they are. And that's the harder part. So you basically have to take a chance, literally a chance. Gotta start run, and if you're lucky that you make it, and if you're unlucky, which most of the case, then you just get caught.
Born in 1990, happy memories of his childhood ended in 2002 when North Korea's Great Famine took a deadly toll on his family.
When I was 12 years old, I saw my father slowly wither away and dying of starvation. That also led my sister and mom leaving to North Korea to look for food, and which my sister was eventually sold to a Chinese man who I still don't know.
Lonely and scared, Joseph says he begged for food to stay alive.
It was so hard. I mean, can you imagine, like, you have to go to sleep under the bridge outside every night without food? Then, at least for me, was that, like, mom or dad, like, why did you bring me this? Why did you bring me to this world?
And your sister?
My sister, she's so close to my heart that, you know, I think about her a lot. I just ran over the ice, and my rationale back then was that, well, what else do I have to lose? Like, literally, I had nothing to lose.
China proved to be more challenging than North Korea. Local families feared punishment from China's communist government for helping a North Korean.
In a sense, it forced me to become a survivor. That I had to learn how to give up my personality, my dignity, or to, like, open up your mouth and say, can I have your leftover food from a stranger from the streets. It takes a lot of courage.
Once in China, Joseph was lucky enough to get help from a South Korean missionary. She helped him get to the U.S. Embassy in China and ultimately to America. Joseph was placed with a foster family in Richmond, Virginia, and enrolled in high school. There he had to learn to speak English and understand an unfamiliar concept: freedom.
There is no freedom of religion, there is no freedom of speech. There is basic freedoms or rights are taken away from the government.
The recent nuclear taunting from North Korean leader Kim Jong-un worries Joseph, but mostly he thinks about the well-being of the childhood friends he left behind in North Korea.
It's difficult for American people to recognize that even though it is a dark place, it's somewhere that it's a home, it's motherland for so many North Korean people.
Joseph is now a student studying international affairs and policy at Bard College in Dutchess County, New York. He views his good fortune as a responsibility.
I'm very lucky, but I also ask myself, like, what is out there? Like, why was it me?
Well, one more thing you might be wondering about, Joseph's mother and sister. He would love to reunite with them. He's not even sure if they are alive or how to find them, but also worries doing so would put their lives in jeopardy. And in reporting this story, I learned that many North Koreans living in the U.S. are afraid to go public as they fear the North Korean government might retaliate against family members who are still living in North Korea or even hiding in China. Joseph is now a U.S. citizen. He's an author. He's even given a TED Talk, and he plans to become a humanitarian aid worker and help other young men like himself. He'd also like to try one day to return to North Korea. Darian Steve, and about that daring escape that he made, he decided to do it during the daylight hours. He was just 16 years old at the time, and it was about a 200-foot run across a frozen river. And even though there were armed guards on both sides, he decided to take a chance. He figured they would be looking for people overnight, not in the middle of the day.
Right.
And it worked.
Wow. 16 years old, boy, really courageous. Beautiful story. Thank you for bringing it to us, Sharon.